One thing I wanted to discuss before we get into um, submissions and reactions and reviews is seasons of the Music Mondays podcast. So, uh, this episode right now, which you're watching, is episode 175. So, this would technically be the end of season 4 of the Music Mondays podcast. And we're going to be heading into season 5, which will be episode 176 through episode 200. So I'm still kind of playing around with ideas in my head on how I want to structure seasons going forward because I want to get a little bit more content out of seasons, right? So I had this idea a while back of really how I wanted to structure seasons and really get a little bit more shine out of them, right? Because we are a weekly show. So it's one of those things as to where it's like, okay, um, we have just about 5 seasons of the Music Mondays podcast, right? Great, fantastic, awesome. But it's like, what are the highlights of each season, and how is each season kind of relevant? So when it comes to season like 1 to 3 of the Music Mondays podcast, I think like I was still doing like 50 episode seasons. Like I'm pretty sure season 1 or 2, season 1 is like episode 1 to 50, and then season 2 is 50 to 100, and then season 3 is 100 to 150, and then season 4 is 151 to 175. So I kind of wanted to split it in half, right? So for instance, instead of 50 episode seasons, we kind of wanted to chop it in half and do 25 episode seasons. So going forward, I was kind of thinking like, okay, what would kind of make seasons in Music Mondays and the Music Mondays environment and podcast a little bit more entertaining? So many of you know that we do the top 3 artists for each show at the end of the show, right? Of course, just to show some love to the highlights of the show, per usual. Nothing super new there, right? But I figured at the end of each season for the Music Mondays podcast, we can kind of go forward with the top 10 submissions of each season, right? So we're going to go through each episode and narrow down 10 picks that we think highlighted throughout the whole season. So it'll kind of be like a season top 10 rather than just like a per episode top 3. So in addition to the top 3, I figured a top 10 would be kind of cool each season. So you wouldn't be seeing it all the time, because even if we kept it to like 25 episodes per season, I still think that would kind of be a lot, right? Especially as to where we get minimum like 20 submissions per show. And going through 20 submissions times 25, yeah, like that's a lot of fucking submissions to go through, right? For 25 episodes. So I'm thinking of narrowing down seasons to maybe 10 episodes. But I don't want to do that until we hit episode 200. So I think we'll finish off season 5. So obviously next week's episode will be the first episode of season 5. We'll go all the way to episode 200, and then once 200 hits, we'll start doing seasons per every 10 episode, and then we'll be able to kind of narrow down top 10 submissions for each season. So a little confusing, but essentially all I'm saying is the episodes per season will be shortened. So instead of 25 in each season, you'll kind of be getting 10. So we'll be hitting like season 10 like super fast, right? But yeah, that's kind of like my thought process behind it, and just to make seasons a little bit more cooler and fun for the community, kind of get like you know a little bit of like a recap, like a season 4 recap, a season 5 recap, things like that. I think something like that would always be really cool, but I didn't really think about it up until like later on during the Music Mondays timeline, right? Like it just took a while for me to kind of come up with that idea. But I think once we hit episode 200, we'll be able to um, kind of move forward with the top 10 of each season and give everybody like a little bit more shine when it comes to the podcast and all their submissions and things like that. So I think shit like that would be really cool and is very, very important. 100%. So, with that said, that'll definitely be uploaded on the channel. Let us know what you think about the season format. Absolutely. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that good jazz. And a huge shout out to everybody that already has subscribed to the channel and has been supporting Music Mondays, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's get it, baby.